It was the sudden visit of Elandra, Claire, and Ramal. Seeing the dragon and the winged girl land in the schoolyard, both Chris and Sana couldn't contain their excitement. However, at the same time, a question arose about why they had come again. Floating gracefully from Ramal's back, Claire turned to Chris with a radiant smile. "You look well," she said.
"Yeah, well,"
Chris replied with a smile.
"More importantly, what's wrong? This is so sudden."
Chris asked, glancing around nervously. He was worried that someone might be watching them. However, as before, there was no one in the schoolyard except for Chris and the others. Even if someone were present, the winged forms of Claire and the other dragons should have remained invisible to them. Nevertheless, Chris could not shake his unease about prying eyes. Meanwhile, Yuri just stood there with her mouth wide open, completely lost for words. It became clear that Yuri could see Claire and the others after all. Claire, noticing the girl's gaze, let out a surprised, "Oh? It seems you can see us too." Yuri gave a faint nod, then turned her eyes toward Chris, her silent gaze pleading for an explanation.
"So, you really can see them after all, can't you?"
As Chris smiled at her, Yuri let out a quiet, "Yeah," and gave a tiny nod.
"This girl here is Claire. And that dragon over there is Elandra. She is my protector, my guardian dragon."
Pointing toward the massive white dragon perched behind Sana, Chris made the introduction.
"And this dragon here is Ramal."
Chris continued.
"He is Claire's guardian dragon."
With those words, Chris gestured toward a blue dragon sitting in the foreground, one size smaller than Elandra. As soon as Chris finished his brief introductions of the three, Yuri scrambled to her feet in a panic. She gave a low, respectful bow and spoke her name aloud, her voice trembling slightly.
"My name is Yuri Sakurai."
"She's been a friend of ours since elementary school,"
Chris added. Claire looked at him in silence for a moment, then turned back to face Elandra. Elandra returned Claire's look with a silent, solemn nod. Claire gave a slight shrug of her shoulders before turning her attention back to Yuri. "You're in a bit of a precarious situation, aren't you?"
"What?"
Stunned by Claire's sudden remark, Yuri found herself at a loss for words.
It was true that Yuri might be a dangerous person. After all, she was the type who would casually pick up animal carcasses and try to summon demons. Still, saying something like that to someone you've only just met seemed incredibly rude, regardless of the circumstances.
Just as Chris was about to speak up, Sana cut in.
"Hold on a second, what do you think you're saying to my friend? That's incredibly rude."
Claire spared a brief glance for Sana, who had spoken with such sharp intensity, but promptly ignored her and turned back to Yuri. "If you keep this up, that demon will drain every last drop of your life force."
"Wait, what do you mean?"
Yuri asked back telepathically. She was a quick study, no doubt a result of being so accustomed to conversing with demons. "You are under the demon's spell. You've struck some kind of bargain, haven't you?"
"I have, but I'm certain I've already fulfilled my end of the promise."
Claire shook her head. "Surface dwellers. Honestly, you're exactly as the textbooks described. Honestly, you're so careless with the details," Claire said, letting out a weary sigh. "Listen to me. Demons are incredibly cunning. More often than not, they've already taken hold of you the very moment you sign a contract. Especially for someone with such vibrant life force and immense potential, yet who's ignorant enough to go and summon a demon. In their eyes, you're nothing but the perfect prey. Once they have their hooks in you, the demon will begin to manifest your desires behind the scenes, without you even realizing it. And all the while, your own lifespan, and the lives of those you hold dear, are slowly whittled away, bit by bit."
"No way."
Yuri stifled a cry of disbelief, burying her face in her hands.
"Then, what's going to happen to her?"
"If things continue like this, There's no guarantee she'll survive. Claire replied. She turned toward Chris and added with chilling bluntness. She'll likely drop dead out of the blue, or perhaps get caught in some fatal accident. Either way, she'll lose her life. Hearing this, Yuri sank onto a swing as if her legs had finally given way. Her face was deathly pale, her features twisted in a mask of grief as she teetered on the verge of tears.
Wait, isn't there anything we can do about it?
Sana pressed. Claire simply shrugged. It's not that it's impossible. But before we even get to that, the real question is whether she has the resolve to sever all ties with the demon. To never rely on it, and never involve herself with it ever again. As she spoke, Claire shifted her gaze toward Yuri. Following her lead, Chris and Sana turned to look at her as well. But Yuri remained silent, her head bowed as she retreated into herself. Cutting ties with the demon means you will never again have its assistance. Claire explained. Everything has likely gone your way since you started relying on it, but all of that ends now. She spoke as if to confirm whether Yuri truly had the resolve to face such a reality. After a long silence, Yuri finally raised her head and looked at Sana. She then turned her gaze to Chris, before looking down once more. She gave a small, faint nod and then spoke, her voice slow and deliberate.
Yes. I won't ever summon a demon or ask one for favors again. I won't have anything to do with them ever again. So please help me.
With those words, Yuri broke down in tears. Sana rushed to her side, rubbing her back and whispering that it would be okay. But the true nature of Yuri's tears remained a mystery. Was she afraid of returning to a mundane life after the demon had made everything so easy? Was she grieving the loss of that dark connection? Or was she simply overcome with regret for having tangled with such a creature in the first place? No one could tell.